I wish someone had told me sooner. These 8 silent mistakes were quietly stealing my balance, one step at a time. It didn't happen all at once. It was little things, like reaching for the back of a chair without thinking or pausing before stopping off a curb. Like walking a little slower not because I wanted to but because something inside me whispered, "Be careful." For the longest time, I told myself it was just age catching up with me. But then one ordinary morning, while walking through my own kitchen, I nearly lost my footing for no reason at all. No clutter, no distractions, just me, and a body I suddenly didn't trust. That moment shook me. Not because I almost fell but because I realized I wasn't sure I'd be able to catch myself next time. And that thought stayed with me. That quiet moment, that almost fall, stayed with me. Because it wasn't just about tripping. It was about something deeper. Losing trust in your body. And when that happens, confidence fades. And so does freedom. My name is Helen. I'm 72, and I've always prided myself on being steady physically and emotionally. But after that near stumble, I learned something that might surprise you. Doctors now estimate that 99% of women over 60 will experience issues with balance at some point. But here's the hopeful part. It's not just aging. In fact, most of what throws us off balance comes from everyday habits we can absolutely change. So today, I want to walk with you through 8 common mistakes that slowly chip away at our balance, and more importantly, how to fix them. These changes aren't about fear. They're about reclaiming our strength, our confidence, and our lives. Let's begin. We tend to think balance just fades as we age. But I've come to believe something different. Losing balance isn't inevitable. It's a message. A quiet one, asking us to tune in, to care for ourselves a little more intentionally. We don't have to wait for a fall to make changes. We can act now with simple, kind adjustments that support the lives we want to keep living. Mistake 1. Wearing the wrong shoes. I used to love my ballet flats. Cute, comfy, slip-on. But one day, walking past a rose bush near my porch, I caught the edge of the shoe and nearly went headfirst into the thorns. That's when I learned that aging feet flattened arches, thinner soles, need real support. I swapped my old shoes for a pair with firm grip, arch support, and gentle cushioning. They weren't clunky, they were stylish and sturdy. It felt like standing on steady ground again, for the first time in years. Mistake 2. Skipping strength exercises. I used to think lifting weights was for gym folks in tank tops, not for me. But I started struggling to get out of my armchair without pushing myself up. That's when I realized I wasn't weak, I was just deconditioned. So I picked up a pair of 3-pound dumbbells, kept them next to my recliner, and started slow. Arm curls during TV time, standing leg lifts while brushing my teeth. It didn't take long. Within weeks, I felt sturdier, lighter. I could catch myself if I tripped. That felt powerful. Mistake number 3. Neglecting vision health. One night I didn't turn on the light for the bathroom. Didn't want to wake Frank. I stepped right into the edge of a rug and landed hard on my knee. Turns out, my prescription was years out of date. And that dim hallway? It was a trap I hadn't noticed. I got updated lenses with anti-glare coating and added plug-in nightlights to every hallway. Since then, not a single stumble. Clarity, it turns out, is everything. Mistake 4. Ignoring medication side effects. I was on a new blood pressure pill. Nothing fancy. But after a few weeks, I kept feeling off, a little dizzy, a bit floaty when standing up. I brushed it off as aging. Then one night, I bumped into the coffee table. That was enough. I read the label and saw it. May cause dizziness. I called my doctor. We adjusted the dosage, and the fog lifted. Your body always knows. Don't ignore the whispers. Mistake 5. Using furniture instead of a cane. I told myself I didn't need a cane. I just used chairs and counters now and then. Until one laundry day, arms full, no furniture to grab, my body tilted, and I barely caught myself. That night, I bought a cane. Lightweight, floral print, comfortable, And when I used it the next day, I felt proud, not weak, not old, prepared. If you find yourself stepping on furniture, your body's already asking. Listen to it. Mistake 6. Avoiding balance exercises. I stumbled into a gentle movement class at the community center, expecting seated stretches. Instead, the instructor asked us to stand on one foot. I couldn't do it, not even for 10 seconds. That was a wake-up call. I started with tiny changes, heel to toe walking across the hallway, shifting my weight side to side while doing dishes. Little by little, I improved. The day I danced while folding laundry, I knew I was getting my confidence back. Mistake 7. Not drinking enough water. I used to think my morning tea and afternoon coffee were enough. They weren't. I was tired, dizzy, and kept brushing it off. But I was chronically dehydrated. Once I started tracking my real water, not just tea, I noticed a change. Clearer head, fewer dizzy spells, more energy. Sometimes, the simplest things like a glass of water can be the most powerful. Mistake 8. Living in a home full of hazards. I'd walked over that rug in the hallway 1,000 times. But one day, basket in hand, I caught the corner and twisted my ankle. 2 weeks of limping. That night, I looked at my home with new eyes. Loose mats, poor lighting, pots stored too low. I made small changes. Added non-slip pads, moved my pans to waist height, installed grab bars. The cost was small. The peace of mind, immense. When I think about all 8 of these changes, they seem small. Swapping shoes, sipping more water, turning on a light. But together, they've done something much bigger. They gave me back a sense of control. I no longer walk with hesitation. I move with intention. And you can too. Balance isn't about being perfect. It's about being present, aware, caring enough about your own body to say, I still matter. My safety matters. You don't need to wait for a fall to choose steadiness. You just have to decide you're worth it. Now I'd love to hear from you. Which of these 8 surprised you the most? Or maybe what's one thing you're going to change starting today? Scroll down and leave a comment. I read every one. And you never know, your story might help someone else stand a little taller tomorrow. If this video brought you comfort or clarity, give it a like. And if you want more stories and advice for living well after 60, don't forget to subscribe to our channel, Elderly Journey. Take care of yourself. You've carried others your whole life. Now let your life carry you with strength, steadiness, and self-respect.